Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel in this series of Laravel Eloquent relationships. This is the part 2 of many-to-many relationship, and if you missed the previous video, which is part 1, I recommend to check it and watch it first before you move to part 2. Today we are going to talk about how to add additional fields to the pivot table. Now by going to database in post tag. As I have shown you, this post tag table is the pivot table for post and tag relationship. In the last video we have commented this timestamps field. This timestamps method created at and updated at columns in the table. So here in pivot table, Laravel doesn't automatically maintain created at and updated at timestamps in the table. Now we are going to enable it by uncommenting it like this. Let's roll back the migration. Here it will roll back the last migration, then after you have to migrate it again. Let's see in the database if it has created at and updated at columns. Moving on, we are going to add another tag. You see we have one tag here. Now by going to web root, let's first remove all of these. We have already used them, we don't need them here. Now here we are going to attach a tag to a post as we did it in the previous video. So here I'm going to pass tag ID 1. Next let's go to refresh the posts in the browser. And here in post tag table we have post ID 1 and tag ID 1, but here created at and updated at are null, means here Laravel has not created and updated at automatically. Now let's go in post model. Here we have to say with timestamps, and that is all we need here. Now here we have first post, then here we have tag, attached the tag ID 1 to this post. Let's go to the browser, let's to posts. In the database here we have created at and updated at fields are filled with some data. Now we are going to see how we can access created at and updated at from this pivot table. Connect this and then dump $post tags. Let's go to the browser and refresh. Here we have collection of one tag, and here in this tag we have attributes for tag. Here created at and updated at are from the tags table. Now we can ask where is created at and updated at from the pivot table. In the relations here, then when we look into attributes is where we find them. And as you can see, there are the values from the pivot table. Post ID, tag ID, created at and updated at. If we want to print this here, we can say This tag return collection of tags, it is array. This first will return this tag object. Now once we refresh we shall see the first tag. Here we have to say pivot then created at. Put it down here, don't make this mistake. After that refresh the page. Now we have print and created at. So here if you want you can't print this in Blade. So let's do this in View then post index file. Here put bracket tag then pivot then created at, and then after this here let's comment this. Then refresh, so here we have print and the created at from the pivot table. Now we are going to see how we can add one or more additional fields to the pivot table. In database migrations then post tag table file. Here we are going to add one more column called status. Now let's roll back migration and then migrate it again. In the database once you refresh we have one more column status. Because we have one tag in the database we are going to attach tag ID1 to this post. We are going to add the value of status with this attach. Here we will add array and this tag ID will act as key. Next here we will pass another array and this array will contain additional value for the pivot table. Now in my case is status and the value is gonna be generated. Now let's go to browser and refresh, and in the database refresh. Now you can see the values here, the status is generated. Now comment this and let's dump this and see if we can see it in pivot relation. Refresh, then down here we can see post ID tag ID created at and updated at, but as you the status is not showing up. Here let's add pivot like this. So to get this additional field in post model, here we'll add another method with pivot and the additional field name and refresh, and this time it is going to show up status. You can also access it like this, then refresh. So guys, this is all in this video. We have learned how to add additional fields in the pivot table. So guys, thank you for watching, and please like this video, share and subscribe for more video coming. See you in the next one.